Alright, what's going on, guys? It's GSR here, so I'm gonna try my best to help you guys understand Cetrion's daily win special move. So, we're gonna talk about her plus frames. So, when she goes for her plus frames, right, as you can clearly see, she's -7. But the further she is away from you, you notice that the frame data is dramatically changing, and now she's incredibly plus on block. You see what I mean? Now there is two different ranges. When she goes for the regular version, that's the range of it. If she goes for the amplified version, there's a little bit more range to it. Now, another thing to take of note is that if you do get hit at close range, her hit advantage is a lot lower, right? As you can clearly see, it's starting to increase. So the further away she is from you, just in general, her hit advantage increases and her block advantage increases as well. So she becomes more plus and she gets more hit advantage to where she can move those frames before you can. Same thing applies when you actually decide to block her move, right? Now, it is very possible to jump over her win move. Like, any character can pretty much do this. You understand what I'm saying? The thing to take of note, though, is that if you're not in the correct range, it's possible that you will get hit. You understand what I'm saying? So you might even fly right on top of it, just like that. So you have to be very careful. But it is very possible to jump over it. Most players are not going to want to block it because she gets plus frames. So you're going to try your best to avoid it. And any character can pretty much jump over it, technically. Now, if you do jump over it, and you're in the correct range, as you can clearly see, you can actually hit her. So if I was to jump over it, because I made a correct read, as you can clearly see, I can go into like whatever combo I want, as Cage, and then do whatever the hell I want to do, right? Now, this is where the mind game comes into play, because obviously she has other projectiles that she can actually use. But to keep it real simple, right, the character can actually use a bar and meter, and now you're gonna have a problem. Now, another thing to take of note is if you notice something, she put me in a restand situation where she has a hit advantage of 14 frames, right? So this is also very powerful for Cetrion, is her restand ability. Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about restands in this game, but restands are incredibly, incredibly powerful because it limits the opponent's ability to use their defensive options to get out of a very bad situation. That's why when I use Johnny Cage and they see me go for the nut punch, they know that this situation just got real, because they don't want to deal with that. They want to be able to get their turn right back. And me having a nut punch, I can just keep my turn because I'm not worried about your overpowered defensive options, right? So if I was to do like a combo with Cetrion, right? See that I can either use a bar meter to get possibly a little bit more damage, or I don't have to use a bar meter. Now, of course, this combo is optimal. Like, you can obviously do like this shit right here, and then do like whatever the hell Cetrion players do, just in general, right? So hold on, let me see something real quick. Yeah, so I'll just keep it simple. So she does something like this, uses a bar meter, and now you're hit with this, and she got like 37%, and I'm pretty sure this combo is probably optimal. So there's that, right? So she's getting pretty good damage plus a restand. That's a big deal, right? Especially for a character like Cetrion that has massive amounts of space control and good footsies and good spacing. So it's like, that's a big deal, right? So doesn't matter if you jump or you get put into a combo, she restands you and she gets some form of hit advantage, and that's the next thing that we're going to talk about, right? So we know that we can jump over her tornado, but she has a mind game with her projectiles. Not only that, she can also use a bar meter, and then she can cause a problem, right? So now we're going to talk about what happens when she commits into combo strings and then she goes for the back forward 4. Alright guys, so easy crushing blows is off, and there's a reason why I'm showing you guys that. Now, when she uses this, when she's using combo strings, you have to understand that there are certain situations to where she has a flow spot gap in the middle of the shit that she's doing. So her standing 1, there's no flow spot gap. As you can clearly see, standing 2, there's no flow spot gap. If she goes for the 1-1, there's no flow spot gap. If she goes for the 2-1, there's no flow spot gap. If she goes for the back 3, there is a flow spot gap, right? See what I mean? Doesn't matter if she spaces it out, as you can clearly see, there is a flow spot gap. Same thing applies with her standing 4-2-3 string. There is a flow spot gap in there. But if she just goes for the forward 2, there's nothing you can do about it. You see what I mean? You just have to accept the fact that she's going to get away. If she goes for the forward 1, there is a gap in there, as you can clearly see, but there's a moment in time to where you can actually do something like this. Now, there's a certain timing with this. And this depends on the character that you're using, but you can definitely interrupt it. If you're too late on your reaction, then she'll get away with it and she'll actually hit you. Now, one of the easiest ways for Cassie is just to knock you down and be like, get that shit out my face. But if you're too late or you press the button too soon, as you can clearly see, like I'm matching the 4-2 and I'm getting hit. So there is a certain timing, so you have to wait until she whiffs the first time. See how her arms went around in a circle like that? You want to wait until she whiffs real quick, and then as you can clearly see, you can get that situation going. You can actually get a combo going, and then you can do like whatever fucking fancy combo that you want with Cassie Cage. Now, if she was to go into her forward 1-3, as you can clearly see, there is a problem here, right? There's a gap, which means what? She can be flawless blocked, right? Now, before I continue on with this, just because she has a flawless block gap does not necessarily mean that every character in the game is going to be able to up to her. And a prime example of this is my girl Frost, right?
Cetrion.
The reason why I say that is because Frost is a character that unfortunately cannot go for an up 2. She has range on her up 2, which is good, but her startup time is fucking 14 frames, and that doesn't make any sense, right? So Frost cannot up to this character. It doesn't matter if you delay it, if you go super fast. If you delay it, then you just missed your chance of flawless blocking. So the only thing that Frost can actually do in a situation like this is to go for an up 3 and get the hit advantage and try to perform some type of strike to mind game or try to apply some form of pressure, right? So check this out, right? I want you guys to see how fucking stupid this stupid ass shit is, right? Check this out. I make a read and I can't get an actual punish on this bitch. That shit doesn't make any sense. So her up 2 is 14 frames, just like I said. Now watch this. You see that shit? You see how her up 2 came out? But it doesn't matter how fast I do it. It just doesn't matter. I have to go for an up 3, and I get a hit advantage of 11 frames, which allows me to dash up and perform a strike to mind game with my back 1 in my throwing situation. And if you want to do something different, then by all means. So this is very important shit to actually understand about this character, right? Like there are certain characters in the game that will not be able to do anything, right? And this is very, very important, right? Like very important. So instead of picking Johnny Cage like I always do, I'll just pick like Cabal and shit, and then we'll continue on from there.
The Hourglass.
So you got to test this out with the character that you're maining. You might want to test this out with the whole cast. That's pretty much what I would do. So that way I have a good understanding of like who can do what to this character, who cannot. And this is really good if you're maining Cetrion, which by the way is really fucking annoying. But he has 12 frames. So let's see if, he can up to her. See what I mean? Doesn't matter how fast you do it. You have a slow startup time, as you can clearly see, it's not going to happen. See that? So I have to go for an up 3 that gives me a mediocre hit advantage of 7 frames. See what I mean? So not every character is going to be gifted to where they can go for an up 2 or an up 3. There are plenty of other characters in the game, though, that can hit Cetrion when she goes into this, right? So we're going to go to a character that can actually do this, right? So we'll just go to Johnny Cage, right? Keep it simple.
Johnny Cage.
So actually I'll pick that one instead. He has the command throw on that one.
The Hourglass.
So Johnny Cage has the ability to go for an up 2 on Cetrion. I feel bad for Frost mains if there is even any Frost main. I've actually been training with Frost a bit. That's kind of like a hint towards something. But I'm not gonna say anything else. I've been training with certain other characters too. So if she was to do this to Johnny, that's not gonna happen. Like Johnny's not gonna put up with that shit. He's gonna be like, okay, first of all, bitch, get that shit out of here, and then he can do like whatever combo that he wants, as you can clearly see here. The reason why is because he has a startup time of 9 frames, and this is really good for Johnny. And that's crazy. I flawless blocked that, and that bitch was like or she was actually like plus 11. That's just wild, boy. So, let's continue on, right? Let's stop fucking around. So, say for example, she's like wait a minute, you just flawless blocked me. I'm not gonna put up with that shit. Then all of a sudden, she goes for this. She's minus 20 on block, which means what? If she does this, you're gonna get hit. And what is her reward? She gets a restand situation, right? It doesn't knock you down, it just stands you right back up. And she can actually jail you with her 4-2. She could dash up and go for her 4-1 or her standing 1-1. More than likely, she can perform a strike throw mind game just in general. And her hit advantage is 15 frames, so this is a really big deal. So this can get really annoying, right? So if you make a correct read, right, Johnny Cage can go for a really good punish. Now, you can clearly see if I go for like the 3-4, I'm not in the range. So you have to also understand that as well. You can't just go for something and think it's going to punish. So I can go for the 4-2, but that's not something that I want. I can go for the 4-3-4-4. That's a good option. But one of the cool things that Johnny can do, since he's that minus on block, is he can jump up in the air like this. I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, he's probably going to be able to do that. And as you can clearly see, Johnny's reward is insanely good for 1 bar. You see what I mean? So, as you can clearly see, Johnny can do that to her, and the Cetrion player is probably not going to like that too much, right? Because he's getting a lot of damage on her. Another option that Johnny has, since he's minus 20 on block, is doing that, and then he can go in for whatever fancy-ass combo that he wants. See what I mean? So, if you don't have the crushing blow, then you know what your options are as Johnny. But you have to also keep in mind that you need to use stuff that's going to reach her. Now, if you don't want to use the 4-3-4-4, then, I mean, you can go for the jumping and then do this, and you'll get really good damage. And since you want to keep her close because she has good space control, obviously the Rising Star is going to be the way to go, right? You might lose a little bit of damage, but keeping her close and still having good damage is always a good thing, right? So you can clearly see those are kind of like your rewards. You can obviously dash forward. There is a little bit of block stun though, I'm not going to lie. There is some block stun, but you can definitely dash forwards and get a punish. But in reality, if you predict that she's just going to go for the regular version, your reward is pretty good. But if you wait for a split second like this, you won't be able to get that punish. You see what I mean? So you're going to have to be on point with that. Now, there is a flawless bite gap with her boulder thing, right? So hold on, what is this called? Because I said boulder thing. Her natural barrier. Okay, that's what it's called. So obviously you can up to and then punish her, right? Another thing that you can actually do that other characters can do is if you predict ahead of time, right? I'm gonna see if I can do it real quick. Hold on, I fucked it up. You can actually get a fatal blow. So your reward is actually pretty good, as you can clearly see here. And you can pretty much fuck her shit up. But since Johnny Cage is a special one, if you time it correctly, Johnny can be like, fuck you, I'm not going to use my fatal blow yet. And he could do some dirty shit, right? So he can't get the crushing blow, but that's fine. Because as you can clearly see, if you don't want to use the fatal blow, Johnny Cage can actually deny that ability to use the full fatal blow. Like the actual fatal blow that cuts into the cutscene of you beating the shit out of somebody's favorite character or whatever. Or the character does their meaning, and he can be like, nah, fuck that, I'm just going to get a regular combo, but I will take the damage. Now, if you are low on health, it's not a good idea to do that. Probably not even a good idea to go for a fatal blow. But if she's low enough on health and you still have enough health to where you think you can actually fatal blow her and win the match, go ahead. Since, you know, fatal blows cost no resources, they come back, you know, and there's armor on it. So, you know, go nuts. And this applies to any character in the game pretty much. So one of the biggest things to take of note, though, is that you can reduce the chip damage, but not only that, the character happens to be minus 14 on block. So Johnny Cage has a 13 frame down back 3, which is a nut punch, and you'll go for like a reversal, and your punish is good. Now in a situation like this, right, you're gonna have to dash up, right, and your forward 3, forward 4, and you're advancing forward 4 is not gonna make it. So you would have to dash up if you really want a legit punish. And she has a little bit of block stun here, so you're going to have to get used to that. But as you clearly see, a standing 2-4-4 is really good. Gives me 27%. And then I can actually control space by throwing out like a back 4-2, so that way she doesn't get up and try to prevent me from gaining that space and stuff like that. Or I could just dash up and gain more space willingly, or like not willingly, but freely, because she thinks I'm going to throw a projectile, so she's probably going to neutral crouch immediately. And once she tries to do something, then she gets hit with a projectile, so it's kind of like a mind game in itself. It's more shit to it, but you get the idea, right? So Cetrion has to understand these types of situations, right? So now, this is the kind of shit that can actually like happen, by the way, right? So now what we're gonna do here is that we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to see what happens if she ends up hitting us. So say for example, you get hit with like her advancing 4-2, which is our best far-reaching normal, and then she commits it to the full string, which is the 4-2-3, right? All of a sudden, you end up getting hit with it, and then she has a hit advantage of 2 frames. Now, to most people, this may not seem like a big deal, but it kind of is, especially if the Cetrion player knows what they're doing, they know the matchup, they know how predictable you are, all that extra good shit, right? So, since she can move 2 frames before you can, some people will probably try to disrespect this, not realizing what's getting ready to happen, right? So, she decides to go for a back 3. And her back 3 is 10 frames on startup, right? So we look at her back 3. As you can clearly see, she's -8 on block, but obviously she's not going to stagger this to where she's only -8 on block, right? Reason why is because she can just commit into this back 3-2 string, or she could commit into the back 4-4, right? Now she has a flawless block gap in this, so I'll just show that off first. So hold on. See what I mean? And then she can get punched, right? So keep that in mind. Now, like I said, if you end up getting hit with this and then she decides to go for the back 3, especially if it's timed correctly, you have to understand that her frame data changed on her back 3, right? So she goes for this, right? Now, she is 10 frames on startup, and she can move 2 frames before the opponent can. And she decided to go for a back 3, right? After she got the hit advantage of 2 frames. We do 10 minus, or no, 10 minus plus 2, and that's 9-8. So that comes out at 8 frames, which is actually really good for her. So another thing to take of note is that you can't necessarily go for any of your highs. And this really sucks for Johnny. So he would have to go for a 7-frame poke. Now keep in mind, you do 10 minus plus 2, and that's 9-8. Her back 3 will come out at 8 frames, which means we have a 7-frame poke that is 1 frame faster than she is, right? Or so watch this. Just watch. So hold on. I'll get hit, and if I know she's gonna go for it, see that? And then I can jail her and then do what the hell that I want. Or do whatever the hell I want, excuse me. And you see what the hell just happened here. So that's strike 1. So now we understand that her back 3 will come out at 8 frames if she decides to go for it. But why would she go for this? Exactly, right? Well, for one, she's low to the ground, and I can't go for a high. As you can clearly see there, I just got beat out. I'm going to master standing 2, and let's see what happens. It's a counter. I'm a master standing 1. Let's see what happens. See what I'm saying? She's avoiding it. And Johnny doesn't have anything else that he can technically use. You could try to use a Rising Star, but as you can clearly see, I tried to go for it. I don't know if you guys heard that noise, but he couldn't even go for it because she's 1 frame faster than his 9-frame mid. Okay, now one thing you could do though is you could try and Fatal Blow, but as you can clearly see, it doesn't really work out for you. So we're gonna try and jump forward, right? So if this is timed correctly, your ability should be shut off, but I think I mistimed it, so hopefully that was fast enough, but we'll see. So if I try to backdash, she'll be able to hit me, right? If I try to jump forwards, which I mistimed again, for some reason. Damn, her timing is kind of strict right there. You have to immediately do it. Okay, that should work. There it is. There it is. So as you can clearly see, you'll get hit, she'll combo you, and then if you notice something, look at her hit advantage when you jump forward. That's something that you definitely don't want. You see that shit? I don't know if you guys can see it where it says Johnny K's the move list right here, and you look on the bottom right, it says her hit advantage is +7. That's not good. That's not good. She can move those frames before you can, and who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. She can hit you with a 4-2 with punish you because you're probably gonna be too predictable by pressing a button. You have to be extremely careful here and make reads and not like panic and shit like that, right? So you don't necessarily want to jump because her reward is increased hit advantage. See that shit? She became +10. Look at her frame data. She's +10 now. Like that's terrible. The fuck? Like I'm not finna jump. Fuck that shit. Now obviously you can jump if you predict she's gonna go for a throw, but like we'll get to that very shortly here. But as you can see, now she's like +9 and shit like that. So you have to be careful here. Now, one of the options you have, like I said, since her back 3 is going to come out at 8 frames now instead of 10, is you can go for a 7-frame poke. Now, if you have an 8-frame poke, then more than likely, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here is that you both will trade, or she'll probably just wait it out and bait you so she can take her turn back, or she might flawless block you. So you might want to take that under consideration, right? So you can flawless block her, that's an option, but going for a fatal blow, that's not going to work. So hold on, let me see if I can get it. Because I'm mistiming this shit so bad. There we go. And you have to be like on point with this shit. Now, this down 1 can actually shut out her ability to go for a back 3. But, of course, as always, she has something that can actually prevent you from doing that. Now, if you try to backdash, let's see what happens. Now, there's a little trick that I want to show you here. And you can clearly see she whipped, right? See what just happened there? Okay. See that? You can't jump forward. You can't jump backwards. Right? Now, you can flawless block it. You see what I mean? And she becomes -4, but obviously that's not what most people want to see. Now, characters with gifted up 2s and up 3s, they're going to be able to reach her, right? See what I mean? Like, I can't reach her. Like, she gets away, right? So, this applies to a good portion of characters in this game. You can actually be like, excuse me? And you don't have to deal with this. Now, in all honesty, one of the ways that you can deal with this in a sense is, like, keep in mind, she can move before you can. Right? And I'm trying to press a button and it's not really going that well for me, right? Like, you see what I mean? Like, I'm pressing buttons, you know, and I'm trying to go for a shadow kick. That's not happening. I'm trying to go for a back 4-2, and I'm showing you guys this because I want you guys to get a good feel for what this looks like. You see what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do shit and I can't do shit except for go for that fatal blow and shit like that. Now, if you are around an interactable, and shit like that, as long as your back is not pushed into the corner completely, then you'll be able to do something. You understand what I'm saying? But this is something to take of note, like, you can possibly do something with that. Now, like I said, characters gifted with up 2s and up 3s that have better range, like Shao Kahn and, you know, fucking Collector and shit like that, they'll be able to hit her at that range by flawless blocking it. Or what you could do is just block it, which would be a good option as well. And it pushes you back to where you guys go pretty much right back into the neutral state because she can't do anything off of the plus frame. I mean, she can move a frame before you, but you two technically go back to the neutral state. You know what I mean? So that's a smart option to go for, so that way nobody has the advantage over one another. Now, if you decide to stand right there and just block, right, after you backdash, it's 0 on block. You see what I mean? So you can do that option, or you could backdash, but she becomes +1 on block. So just back up, and then once you get hit with the back 3, stand your ground, and then just block. And then if you have your fatal blow and she's low on health, you know what to do. Fuck that shit up. Or fuck her up, right? So, okay, we know that we can flawless block her. We know that we can down 1 her, but wait, we can down 1 her. So what can she do to prevent me from down 1ing her? Glad you asked. Glad you guys asked. Now, if you guys pay attention, her backdash is really good. Reason why is because her upper body leans all the way back, and it helps her avoid certain highs in the game, or a decent amount of certain highs in the game, which is kind of a dirty backdash, but it is what it is. So if I try to go for a down 1, watch what happens. And then you go right back into the same situation. You see what the fuck happened? So if you predict that she's going to backdash, keep in mind she can move 2 frames before you can. You could go for the 4-3-4-4, but I prefer you don't do that. It's kind of risky. If you know she's gonna go for it, you can go for the standing 2-4-4. And as you can clearly see, you can stand your ground and you can pretty much do this. You understand what I'm saying? But this goes right back to her back 3. You have to take into consideration that your standing 1 and standing 2, it's not going to make it. Reason why is because she can go for the back 3 that makes her go underneath highs. You understand what I'm saying? So this is important. And what you could do is you can actually back up and create new neutral, as you can clearly see, and then you can punish her. You see that? So she'll be in for a rude awakening if she does this. See, she whips, and then you can do like whatever the hell you're trying to do. And since her second hit starts up at like those frames, you see what I mean? Like, this is different per matchup, but as you can clearly see, like, you can get some form of a punish. Okay, cool. We got the back 3 situation out of the way. Everything of my knowledge, of course. And we already know that if, you know, you block this, she might try to create a mind game and shit like that, where her barrier boulder or whatever you call it, or natural barrier. So, yeah, that's pretty much what will happen on hit. Now, of course, she could take it upon herself to throw you. That's another option, so hold on. And this is something that you don't want. The reason why is because she can backdash, and now you're dealing with this bullshit. That's super annoying. So it might be possible to micro duck, but it happens so fast that it's like you kind of have to make a read. But as you can clearly see, I did a micro duck situation right there. So what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna have her hit me. Okay, that's one, and then we're gonna see if we can get a micro duck situation out of this. Bloop, bloop. Okay, so let's see if we can micro duck. Ooh, I just did it right there. Ooh, just did it right there. That wasn't like, now I want you guys to understand something. Let's see here. I gotta put this on random playback to make it more accurate. So this is something that you can do to see if you can actually micro duck it and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys know what micro ducking is, but we're gonna have it random. Ooh, look at that. You can possibly micro duck it. Nice. Yeah, okay. So micro ducking is kind of like an option select in a way, because it's covering both options that she has. Look at that. I'm micro ducking. That's me micro ducking. That's not me like making reads. That's just me micro ducking. This is why I don't like option selects in this game, or just in fighting games in general, because you're not really thinking. You're just doing a certain thing and then you're able to do shit like this. You see what I mean? That's not me making a read. That's me micro ducking. Like, I'm gonna actually show my buttons real quick so you see that I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. Like, I'm literally telling you, I'm literally micro ducking. Watch my controls. Look at that. Look at that. I'm able to block. You see what I did there? You see that? So you're technically able to micro duck this. That's actually pretty interesting. Didn't think you would be able to do that because of how fast shit's happening, but anything's possible apparently. So there's that, right? Now, I'm gonna have to, where's it at? Okay, cool. So there's that situation, right? Now we're gonna continue on. So we can't backdash, which is obviously annoying, right? So if she manages to get you to respect the back three, this is when she's probably going to go for the 1-1 to kind of fuck with you, and she more than likely will get like free spacing on you because you're going to respect the back three and you're going to be waiting on it. But what you can do is that your down one will shut out her ability to go for the back three as Johnny Cage or any character with a 7-frame poke, but it will also shut out her ability to go for the standing one, which is a high, right? Now, one thing to take a note from this particular situation is that the way she can beat you out is by backdashing and immediately going for the 4-2-3 into the back forward 4 and restarting the situation again. Now, the problem, though, is that if she does it just how I did it, you can go for the standing 2-4-4. And this is where the problem comes into play. The back 3 comes into play. You see what I mean? And I went to, like, Kung Lao, right? Which is another good example, right? Her 8 frames, which is her back 3, could beat out Kung Lao's forward 1. But Kung Lao's poke can beat her out, her 8 frame back 3 out because it's 7 frames. If you have a 6 frame, it's even better. And this is actually really bad for Cetrion because going against a character like Gears or Sub-Zero, they're going to mix the fuck out of you. So it's actually really, really bad, right? So, like I said, I'm going to show you guys a different situation. So, I'll pick Sub-Zero. And I know some people are probably talking shit like, oh, fuck this nigga. I agree, because I don't like how he plays in this game. Very brain-dead character in a way. But I'm going to show you guys, like, the difference, right? I'm going to show you the difference. So, Cetrion can backdash, like I said, right? So I'm going to start up the situation again, and we're going to see what our options are. But I'm going to do the same options that, you know, that I did with Johnny Cage, right? So, hold on. Okay, so let me see if it actually works. Okay, yeah, it works. So you can clearly see my down one will completely shut her out, and this will allow the character to go for some form of a 50-50 if the player doesn't know what's gonna happen after that, which more than likely you won't. You're literally stuck into an MKX mix-up. So right here, and now she's gonna get hit, and she's gonna get fucked up, and all that extra shit. Okay, cool. So now she's thinking to herself, I don't really like the fact that Sub-Zero just did that. So let's see if Sub-Zero can backdash. Ooh, wait a minute. Come on now. Come on now. Sub-Zero, talk to me. Talk to me now, bro. Now I'm doing that immediately, so let me see if she shuts out all three options. Okay, she's shutting out that option. Okay, she shut that option out. She shut that option out. See what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, it's different per matchup, bro. I kind of figured he was one of them niggas that was lucky enough to do that. Damn, I knew he was one of them. Look at that. Like, so her recovery, right? And I'm doing that immediately. Her recovery is like 22 frames. He has a 4-2 that's like 19 frames. So like, if he does this at the right spacing, his reward is that. You see the difference in matchups? Like, it's different per matchup. Like, I can either stop you with a down one, or I can back up. And as you can clearly see here, like, you see what I mean? People are like, no, I don't think so. Get that shit out of here. Like, Johnny Cage can't do that. Like, his backdash isn't that bad, but it's not as good as Sub-Zero's. And his reward is like 32%. Damn, look at that wave dash, boy. Your boy is good at wave dashing when I want to do it. See how quick he got in that bitch? So, like I said, man, it's different per matchup. But see, here's the thing. Sub-Zero, he ain't out of there yet. Because he has to understand, nigga, I got a 1-1. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to see if he can be hit by the standing 1-1, right? So let me see if I can time that correctly. Okay, I think that was fast enough. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? Bro, you see, y'all see what I'm saying, bro? It's different per matchup, my nigga. It's different per matchup. Your boy be out here labbing, bro. I know what I'm talking about. Like, if she was to do this, let's see if he can go for a fatal blow, though. No, she shuts it out. So the way he could stop her is either go for a down one or he could just backdash. Because she shut out his ability to jump. So that means I did it correctly. And I did it as fast as possible, right? And I timed it as fast as possible. Like, she can't stop him from backdashing. And he gets really good punishes off of that compared to Johnny. Johnny just gets a damn down one and that's it. That's it. Or he has the flawless block. Now, he could flawless block her. That's another option. But as you can clearly see, her 1-1 just completely shut out his ability to backdash. That's why she's going to go for the 1-1 in situations like this. You see what I mean? And that's going to lead into a restand situation. You see what I mean? Or she could use that hit advantage right there. Did you see how plus her hit advantage was on that 1-1? It's 15 frames. Like, look. Hold on. Look at that. If you look on the bottom right of my little pause menu, look at that. It's 15 frames. She can use that to go for a 4-2, or she could jail you with another 1-1, or she could just throw you. You see what I mean? But then again, she's probably going to go for more damage, maybe. But then again, she don't... come on, bro. Like, you see? So, what Sub-Zero can do, right? Now, I'm going to show you some easy crushing blows off. And this is something that I didn't show you guys with Johnny Cage. I want you guys to pay attention now. If you predict... Now, I want you guys to see this uppercut crushing blow. Triggers if this attack counters or punishes a high attack. If you predict she's going to go for the 1-1 to Sub-Zero, watch this. Let me see if I can time it. Did you see that? Now, I want you guys to see something. This shit is off, and I was able to hit her with a crushing blow uppercut. You see what the fuck I'm talking about? It's different per matchup. So now, say for example, Sub-Zero was to do that, right? Like, he was to go for an uppercut, and she predicted that he was going to do that. She might be able to hit his ass with an uppercut. Oh, look at that. Distance. Surprisingly, she can't. So, this still doesn't matter. You want to know why this doesn't matter? I'm going to show you why it doesn't matter. If she predicts that Sub-Zero is going to do this, or any character is going to do this, she can wait for that right moment and make sure that she whips. She can neutral crouch and then hit you with a crushing blow that's going to lead into a restand situation, and now you have to make a decision on whether or not you're going to break out or not. So if you whip this, right, Sub-Zero is, his recovery is 42 frames. That's really bad. That applies to any up two in the game, or down two in the game. And this is her reward. You see what I mean? So if the player makes a correct read, the reward is extremely high. But say for example, she was the weight, right? The problem with her doing that is that you just opened the gate for me to do this. Because I know that's what you're looking for. You see what I mean? And all this can be used at a high level, play. It's funny that I know all this shit and I don't use it online. If you guys notice, I don't even use it online. I just say, fuck it. I'm like Bill Burr. Fuck it. And I just go in there and fight. I don't even give a shit. But I know shit. I really do. That's not me bragging. I'm just trying to let you know I know shit. So, but I just don't use it online. It's very strange. Yeah, I'm going to go for the back three again, just to prove my point that I did go for the back three. Look how fast I did that. So, hold on. Look at that. He's able to avoid it, bro. I knew he was one of them niggas that can do that. I knew I wasn't tripping, bro. I was like, let me go in the lab real quick with this nigga. I knew he was one of them that can do it. That's why I picked Sub-Zero. So, this is different per matchup, like I said. So say, for example, she was to do this. And then she was to do that. Right? So, Sub-Zero goes for the down one. And as you can clearly see, she punishes her. Right? Say for example, Sub-Zero backs up, and then he immediately does this. She's shutting out his ability to go for the 4-2 because he's trying to get a punish. See that? He's looking for the back three because he's trying to get a punish, and you're obviously going to go and try to punish this, so you have to be very careful here. But if you predict that she's going to commit, guess what you can do? You can go for the 1-2 if you want, or you can stand your ground and just do that. But here's the problem with you standing your ground. This is when the Abari comes into play. Actually, no, not in the Abari, actually, because, you know, she's not doing it while like on block or nothing. She can actually just stand her ground and go for the 1-1. Now watch this shit. Keep in mind, the character can move what exactly? 2 frames before you can, right? What does that mean exactly? That means that you need to do your frame data. So she goes for the standing 1, which starts up at what? It starts up at motherfucking 8 frames. So we do 8 minus plus 2, and that's 7, 6. So that's a 6 frame standing 1. If you were to go for the back 3 that starts up at 13 frames, she's going to beat you the fuck out, right? Keep in mind, her down 1 is 8 frames. So if Sub-Zero was to go for a down 1, and you do the math correctly, she can actually trade with Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero is going to backdash. You see what's happening here? It's a circle. It's a loop. It's all these little different situations that can happen off of one fucking restand. Holla at your boy. Boy, I'm telling you, bro. I be labbing, son. I don't be fucking around. But hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Hopefully that was enjoyable. Put a like, comment. Let me know if you want more videos like this. I'm always willing to help out people who are trying to get better. You know, but with that being said, I gotta get some sleep before I go to work. Peace out.